So this time we're doing a video on the PUFGUN, I think it's the M2, second here, sorry about that. This is the PUFGUN Gen 2, what I'm calling the Gen 2. It says, what does it say on the wrapper? Says GM2 here, but I think if you look at the listing, it says G2 and then M2 and something in Russian that I don't understand, and I don't know if that's Saiga 7.62 for SGA, but anyway, I bought these from Atlantic Firearms, and so this is what they look like. PUFGUN, and it stands for Perfect Units for Guns, and these polymer magazines are made in Russia. Now this one's got a crack on the floor plate. That might have happened in transit. They're not all like that, and I could just super glue that. That's not a big deal. So it's a 30 round 7.62 by 39 millimeter, and it bears a resemblance to the Fab Defense Ultimag, what is it, Mag 47? Or just Ultimag 47, I guess. In that it's got these squarish textures on the front, and then these like little ramps on the back. But in this case, oh, and the back spine is different on the Fab Defense than it is on the PUFGUN Gen 2. So the PUFGUN Gen 2, these are more rectangular on the front, and they what's the word? They're, I guess, all the way out here on the sides a bit, whereas on the windowed Fab Defense Ultimag, they don't make it that far. And you've got 3 ramps on the Fab Defense, and then on the PUFGUN Gen 2 you've got 2, and then it curves to the back spine. So it's a little different, but looks very similar. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the Fab Defense off to the side, since we're not worried about that. This video is not about that. So so front locking lug appears to have some kind of steel or metal reinforcement behind it, although the lug itself may be polymer. The rear locking lug appears to be metal. It looks like it wants to have metal reinforced feed lips, but I do not believe it does. It has a metal, or rather an anti-tilt follower, but it, with all 3 of these, they tend to catch when I depress them, and then they catch on the way up also. So I need to take a look at the inside of that and see what I can do to remedy that. It might be that this front piece is hanging up, the front piece of the follower, the nose of the follower is hanging up on the sill right there. Anyway, the springs on both the PUFGUNs appear to be treated with something. I don't know if it's just grease, but it gives it a brownish or a greenish tinge. The floor plate's easy to remove. There's no witness hole. These run about $20 a piece. You can get them from Atlantic Firearms, and I don't know how long they'll have some in stock. I imagine that the PUFGUN magazines that I bought, since they're made in Russia, They made their way into the U.S. before the sanctions began. So if you want some, I would get on it. So this magazine did about, 4 points better than the Gen 1 PUFGUN magazine. The Gen 1 scored 15 points out of 29. This one scored 19 points out of 29. So this one's close to, it's 0.95 points per dollar, so it's almost 1 point per dollar, whereas the Gen 1 is 0.68 points per dollar. Anyway, a score of 19 is definitely better than 15. Excuse me. Anyway, I'll put the scorecard in the description. And this video is part of a playlist on AK mags, so you could check out this playlist and see what other mags for 7.62x39 AK interest you. I tend to focus more on the polymers magazines than on the wide variety of metal AK magazines that are out there, because it seems to me that it's a bit more difficult to differentiate one of those from any of the others, whereas there's quite a bit of variety in the polymer magazines. And anyway, so yeah, I'll just leave this video here, and until next time.